I've had a number of machine shops over the years that we use for milling our timber, and there's a few things I've learned on that journey. So when I set up this machine shop for my furniture school, I try to learn from some of the things I've got before. One of the key things is you normally want materials and goods in, so we have a storage room through here, so we have our solid timbers and our manufactured boards. First process from there is normally coming into a machine shop and either cross-cutting, cutting stuff off to length, or putting it straight onto a big table saw. So for this big table saw, we can slide 8x4 sheets straight out of here onto the bed. So we need enough room in front of and behind the bed to be able to get an 8x4 sheet this direction to the side of the table saw and to this side and out of the far end. If we're not processing 8x4 manufactured boards, composite boards, then we're dealing with solid timbers. So we might have much longer lengths of solid timbers. So you want to try and get yourself that you're not going to be hitting a wall. So for this place, we can physically open up the door and we can get longer lengths going through. So I've designed it in this way. But if you don't have a door there, maybe you would have a window, or you could almost just have a small post box there, as long as it's in the right position, because most of the timber we do is probably no more than 6-8 inches wide and probably 2 or 3 inches high. So a small flap in the wall could be really useful to getting longer bits of timber through. We also have a natural flow through the workshop from our initial sawing up and getting the components smaller to moving on to our surface or jointer planer. So we can come to here, we've already prepped the timber so it's about 1/4 inch over size. We can come and we can face side and face edge our timber. Got a fair length towards the saw, and as we go through the planer we could come up and hit our drum sander. But the head on this one is adjustable and comes up, which means we can get a fair length of timber or size of timber actually underneath this head if we need to. The other bit of kit we've got in here is our bandsaw. This bandsaw is positioned midway across our workshop. So I've got a clear 10 foot or 3 meters in front of the bandsaw, and the same this direction as well. So we can get a fair length of timber within these. Also in this corner we have our good old-fashioned Victorian veneer press. Quite a big bit of kit, but fantastic for laying flat veneers. If we're not going to use this or haven't got enough room for this, then a little vacuum pump is fantastic, the modern day equivalent. We'll attach this vacuum pump up to these vacuum bags, sucks the air out, drags the veneer down either onto a flat panel, or particularly good when we're doing male and female formers, we're doing laminating work, great for that. Also in here we've got another planer. This is a combined planer, it's a surfacer and thicknesser. So these beds can drop down and we can surface, flatten and straighten timber. And again, this is midway in the workshop, so we can get 5 meters either side of this, that's sort of 20 foot for surfacing. Lift the beds up. We can use the lower section of this machine for thicknessing. So we know we can saw 20 foot long, we can plane 20 foot long, and after those crucial processes, we can come on to our shaper or spindle moulder. And again, by opening up the door behind me, we can now shape or mould baseboards or skirtings, again, some long lengths. At the moment, this is set up for doing curved ring fence work. So we don't have this set against a back wall because the curve might want to come around this shape. So we can really get a lot out of this machine setup. If you put machines in the corners or no doorways or windows, you're going to really restrict what you can do with it. In here we've got lots of artificial lights because there's not much natural light coming into this workshop. Artificial lights are fine for wood machining as long as they're not flickering. If they flicker, you can get a strobe effect which makes your tools look like they're not spinning. And that's actually how tool designers check how effective tools are being. The other side, we've got our hand tool shop, much more natural light. Natural flow rate is around this machine shop and next door for assembly and finishing before it leaves us altogether. So a little bit of time setting out and thinking about your machine shop will really pay dividends. Draw a plan, draw little paper models, what I've done in the past, and literally move them around your workshop and kind of have a rule almost, measuring in and out of the machine to make sure you're getting your workflow and the lengths of timbers that you're going to be needing.